It's Trap, and Trashy News.
Hell no! Trash. With pretty little kitty on your radio.
Hey, so remember Kevin Hart got into that really big car accident, which landed him in the hospital, and now he's going through a lot of physical therapy? Well, it was a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda. That's the car that he was in, him and his friends, that went over an embankment. You know, I guess the cause was speed or whatever. Well, California Highway Patrol want to investigate that car. Not because something Kevin did or something the driver did, but because this car is actually like a death bomb. Yeah, so they want to strip it down to the bolts, the nuts, the metal pieces, all of that, just to find out what was wrong with the car. So according to TMZ, the end result of this investigation is going to be a recommendation by the California Highway Patrol to the state legislature to require that car companies that customize and restore classic cars, they install safety harnesses, even if it deviates from the original vehicle. And in Kevin's case, according to the website, that Barracuda is a 1970. Harnesses were not required. Now, a safety harness could have prevented or minimized the serious back injuries Kevin and the driver suffered. And the CHP has actually pushed legislation over salvage cars that are unsafely restored. And now the cars must be inspected by the department. This is actually going to be a 3-week process. So the first week is going to be taking the car apart, and then the next 2 weeks is going to be evaluating the evidence and writing a report. Love and hip hop star Teairra Marie pleads guilty in a DUI case. Yep. She's not going to have to serve any jail time, so that's a good thing. 1 count of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence, and she's avoiding any type of time behind bars. She has been ordered to complete several DUI-related courses, including a victim impact panel and an impaired driving program, and she must install an ignition interlock device in her car, which will remain in place for the next year. I believe that means she's going to have to blow in her car. NYPD busted Mari for DWI back in June, pulling her over after an officer observed her Dodge Charger was missing a front wheel as she drove out of the Midtown Tunnel. She was driving with just 3 wheels. And she reeked of booze. The bumper was dragging on the ground with sparks flying all around the car. Her license is suspended for 6 months, and if she fails to comply with the terms of her sentence, she could face up to a year behind bars. MC Lyte is accused of stiffing someone $38,000. She hired an artist to work with her on a project, but never paid him for his contributions. The gentleman's name is Christopher Smith. He is claiming that he was hired as an artist, animator, and writer on a project for MC Lyte's entertainment management and production film, Sunny Girl. But he says he was never paid for the 1,228 hours that he worked. He's owed $38,375. Christopher also claims that he was let go from her project. MC Lyte and her business partner, Lynn Richardson, sent him a check for $11,000, but it bounced. Ooh! Christopher is suing MC Lyte, Richardson, and Sunny Girl, and wants the cash he claims he's owed. No comment from MC Lyte. Damn, that's messed up. Bobby Brown was allegedly removed from a flight, but there are different stories. I guess he was drunk on the flight. JetBlue figured he needed to be removed from the flight. JetBlue released a statement after the news spread that he was taken off one of its planes before it departed LA, headed to Boston. He was removed from the aircraft prior to departure from crew members who observed indications of intoxication. The customer was offered a seat on the later flight. He declined and was issued a refund. Some insiders close to Brown said that JetBlue acted too soon, noting that Brown wasn't being problematic at all. Other passengers on the flight said Brown wasn't making a scene, and while he did reportedly confess to drinking before getting on the flight, he didn't act out, and he couldn't have another drink. So he didn't act out when he was told he couldn't have another drink. Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, he was drunk, but he didn't need to be kicked off the flight. I guess that's what they're saying. Those of you who buy tickets to Chance the Rapper's tour, promoting his album, The Big Day, you're going to have to you're going to have to get a rain check, wait for a later date because he is holding his tour back. He wants to spend more time with family. Days after welcoming a new bundle of joy, his wife had their second daughter, Marley. Chance is revealing that he's placing himself on paternity leave to enjoy his family. He took to social media saying that, over the past few weeks, he's decided to push back his tour. He touches on going back on tour just days after the birth of his first daughter. He says that I was absent when her mother needed me the most. And at this point, as a husband and a father of two, I realized I can't make that mistake again. I need to be as helpful and available as possible to my wife in those early months of raising Kinsel and Marley. And I think that's a great thing. I do. I don't think that that's a bad situation. I mean, if Hoda Kotb could take off for 8 months, why not? Just either get your coins back or wait for a later date. Congratulations either way.